at the seam and it is very uneven.